Mm-hmm.
Think we'll get enough people this time?
Hello. Hello, everybody. It's Donald Duck. Okay. Where's everybody? Anybody awake today? Nobody. Got the whole place to myself. They're all on vacation.
You got one.
I do?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's over there.
How you doing? I'm here. Jose, I'm here. Lionheart. It's Saturday. My wife's off at a pageant, so I'm talking to everybody out in the country that prefer to talk about cars than pageant stuff. How's that? That's pageants are when girls go out to do stuff that guys don't care about. And yeah, that's it. Yeah. What's everybody thinking about today? Hey, Joe. How's it going? Let's see. What's up? Having fun? How do I feel on lowered trucks? Lowered trucks are great. You got to get the special look to them if that's what you're going for. They do change everything as far as your steering. You got to make sure it handles okay, and they get a little strained, so make sure you take care of all that stuff. Checking in from Ohio, TJ. Okay. YouTube, please. Hi. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I was here all the time. It was Hisham. Hisham did it.
Yeah.
Probably like, what the heck? What's everybody up to today? Want to talk Hellcats today? Superchargers? What do we want to talk about? Oh, we're going to do we're going to have a young lady come in and do a bunch of work on a race car. And so that's going to start mid-December. We're going to do a transmission swap, LS1 and a 78 Camaro. So we're going to get all that stuff going. And you'll maybe find that entertaining. Maybe we'll have more than one young lady that actually watches my channel. Let's see. Here we go. What's going on? Boy Meets World. Hi. 717. Okay. I'll take to get my 5.3 LS4 to 450 to 500 horsepower. You can do that with cam and long tubes. They make about 4 1/4, and they still run really good. Beyond that, you got to put a charger on top. And Kevin, you're on the right track. You want to buy a new Red Eye, though. The Red Eye's got the order sheet out now. 2.7 blower. Make sure you get the 309 rear gear. It's not that much more money. Brandon, day's going okay. So far, so good. Nothing's on fire, but it's early. Got the guys in back working on a 06 Celine that we're finishing up. And one of my frequent flyer customers were working on his wife's minivan because he didn't change oil. Everybody change your oil, please. Don't go by that stupid light. Every 5,000 miles, full synthetic. Okay, oil changes are cheap. Engines are expensive. Small Kai car review mechanic. How you doing? Joe, the holiday was okay. My mother-in-law, who's 90 years old, had too many cocktails and dropped a glass and staggered around and stuff, so we can't take her anywhere anymore. Let's see, it was 3 little kids under 2, my grandkids, and a dog the size of a moose my son has. How's everybody else doing? Why does Mr. Organic look like a leprechaun now? You know what? He reinvents himself all the time. God bless him. I mean, he's hilarious, and quite honestly, when you get a chance to know him really good, he becomes kind of a normal person and a lot of fun to be with. He's a little crazy in a small fishing boat, which we tried that before, and that does not work. He looks like a cat in the rain. It's not really pretty. Can I do a custom turbo? Sure, I can, but not really necessary because the motor will only take about 650, 700 horse, and the Charger does that easy, but I could do a custom fab twin turbo. I'd also blow the pistons all over the ground, or we could work it with 2 small ones to work like my wife's twin turbo Mercedes. Works good. Not worth the hassle on that 2017 RT. I would just put the supercharger on top or put a cam into it and just have a gas. Oh, and all you guys take a look around. There's a couple websites that are selling new gear ratios for the back of your 5.7s. It's Moparts Overstock or something like that. And they've got complete drop-in units with like 370 gears in the back that help wake your stuff up. And it's like $732. It's real good with a new PASA unit. What's up, Bart? Tuning in from Texas. We're going to come down there, Jose. I expect you to be up there to watch a race. And yeah, however you, anybody but the guy with that green all-wheel drive Lambo. Favorite car of all time. That's the Duesenberg. Model SJ, 1931-ish. Coolest thing ever known to mankind. They were $20,000 when they were built in 1930, when the average Ford or Chevy was like $300, $500. YouTube police. I haven't got those emojis figured out yet as far as being able to see them. It's crazy. How much is the tune for 98 GT? It's $550 with the tune time and the chip, and your printouts before and after. The 98 does not have PI heads. I would trade it in on a GT 500 2007. Just kidding, but that's what I do. One Deep Mechanic. How you doing? Boy Meets World. What's your thoughts on the new Elephant Crate? Would you ever get one and put it in a build? I would probably put one in a build after they get a chance for their consumers to get a hold of them and break the crap out of stuff. And then I would probably put it in an old car, an old Challenger or Charger or something like that for kind of fun. And let's see. Well, I appreciate that small guy car review. I think I've got a little bit of a handle on this stuff, and then every time I think I know everything, yeah, my mother-in-law deserves a drink at 90. So she shows up all the time, and she has a mason jar filled up with vodka. And I'm not talking the little one. I'm talking the one that looks like, you know, I tried drinking with her one time here about 4 years ago, and that was not a good thing for me at all. But yeah, she's about 105 pounds, and she, a couple fun stories about her I'll tell in the middle type stuff, but she broke her pelvis and didn't get any pain pills. She was going over to borrow a gun from one of the neighbors. There's a lot of shit goes on with her. She's kind of interesting. We're going to be in Dallas, Jello friend. And thanks for the call from Houston, Mississippi. Yeah. So we're going to be in Dallas at a couple of the tracks. We're going to do an 1/8 mile one day and a 1/4 mile the next. And Demonology is going to be there. And I'm sure there'll be a bunch of other guys there. That Ford guy with that Super Cobra jet, he's going to be tough. That thing runs 8s. I can't make a Hellcat do that, I don't think. It's going to be stripped out enough. When will Tall Guy be at shop again? As soon as he drops off that Hellcat for me to work on. I got a bunch of parts showing up here, and I got no car. I'm going to give out a cell phone number pretty soon. You can all give him a call. I'm not going to do that. He'd be pissed. I'm in Louisiana. Cool. We're racing back to the Dallas thing. I'll announce the name of the strips. Demonology is going to check that over, and we'll get the right places to go for everybody. 63 Chevy truck with a 327 supercharger. One Deep Mechanic. How you doing? I would put one of those Wien small ones on there if it's a cast iron headed thing. You can't get too carried away, about 4 to 6 pounds of boost before you start breaking pistons and rods. They're not really built for it. I'd much rather see you go to like a 383 small block or jump right up to a 496 big block with good parts inside. If you want to build it 9-to-1 compression, you can put a charger on it later. That's what we do all the time. Oh, Great Britain. How you doing? That's cool. God, it's got to be like what, like midnight there or something like that? I'm kidding with you. I think it's about 6 hours, but I appreciate you tuning in, Andy. That's really kind of you. Let's see. It came from Tall Guy Car Reviews. I'm the Bart. Yep, that's true. Thanks, Dustin. I'm here all the time. You guys can always call me. I got 3 phone lines. I'm getting calls from everybody, so happy to talk to everybody. Yeah, so Trav G, LS1, if it's the cathedral port, the old one with bolt-ons, depending on what you're doing with it, I need gear ratio, and if it's automatic car or a stick, and we got to talk about what you do. I kind of fall back on a 226, 230, 600, 600, put it on a 112. Gives you all the lump, goes like hell, and still is drivable. Yeah, One Deep, I'll announce that thing when Demonology tells me where we can go on what weekend. Too expensive. Lionheart, too expensive or hassle to turn a front-wheel drive car into an all-wheel. Yeah, it's a lot of pain and suffering to do that. Can it be done? Sure, anything can be done, but we can make stuff work. Oh, GTR. Port a 93 GTR and soup it up for the channel. That sounds expensive. That's why I'm going with the Prius, because I can buy one of those for about $2,000. That way I can start sticking stuff into it and everybody can afford to do it. It's a street car, by the way. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Trav, that 226, 232, 112 Loeb Sep and 600 works really good. Swap my JK Rambler. You know, those Wranglers can get kind of crazy. I would actually end up doing the Hemi swap because it's kind of part of the same family. And the 5.7 with the camshaft works really good. Saudi Arabia. Wow. Holy cow. How you guys doing? Thanks for all the oil. We need all the help we can get over here. Appreciate that. Need premium fuel, please. Race gas. More race gas. Lots of race gas. It's important. Okay, what mod's going on into the... Okay, so we're cutting the interior, putting in one race seat. That's almost 200 pounds. We're getting rid of all the radio stuff, taking the front and rear supports out behind the bumpers, in the doors. And I got a list of the whole page. I'm going to put it up on the website when we're going to have a video when we're taking it all out. Batteries coming out, putting a 12-pound lightweight battery in the back. We're putting in 370 center pumpkin in the back. And also then new shafts are going in. The ones from, hey, Bill. The new shafts are going in from the guys at Inland Empire. Yeah, I'm live on the web talking to everybody. Got Saudi Arabia, got guys in Britain. That's cool. There's two of you over there. Yeah, go nuts. Oh, the channel card. Okay, so tall guy driving around with a check engine light. Are you to blame? Users are giving us trouble on that one because we don't have any. He hasn't been back for a while to get it turned off. We can just turn him off, but he's been so busy. I haven't seen the car, boy, in months and months. Right after we got it done, he took it all over the country with that. But it's the rear O2s that are still acting up for some reason in the computer. That's all it is. And the Prius, I'm going to do the channel car. We're going to do a Prius and do a 6.0 or a 5.3 that comes out of a two-wheel drive van. I'm going to camshaft it up. I'm going to shorten everything up, and I'm going to do it in steps. My goal here is not to make a $500,000 or $200,000 or $150,000 car. My goal is to give people the essence of hot rodding. So we're going to make it so you guys can do it, at least if you want to. So you see every step and what parts we have to modify. A big race coming up in Houston. Okay. Let's say, oh, you're okay, Dustin. Yeah, I got it. Thanks. Oh, stick car. All right, Trav. Yeah, that camshaft still works perfect and it drives like $1 million. It goes like a bastard. Just shifted at about 6,300. Loudest car I have. I had a drag car here that left a little bit ago. He's been out racing at 8th Mile, and that was 555 Ford with Super Cobra Jet modified heads we did, and it's been running. Geez, he's driving it easy, not even using first gear, and it's been running 590s on an 8th Mile track, and he keeps getting booted off because his cage isn't legal. Piston slap. Yeah, it's piston slap, not pistol slap. That's when the pistons are cold. It rocks back and forth in the bore. It's a fairly short piston until the piston warms up to take up the extra gap because it's aluminum. It makes a little bit of a tick, tick, tick noise until it actually goes up in size. Let's see. It doesn't do any harm as long as I don't beat the crap out of when it's making piston slap noise. And let's see. I'll do follow you and tall guy cars use. Appreciate it. Prius. Yeah, I know, but there's lots of them out there. V8 Ferrari. I'm doing the best I can. I can do all kinds of stuff, and I've done it. Oh, I'll swap a Benz for the channel. Yeah, I won't tell my wife. I'll take her V12 turbo out. That'll make me real popular at home. Yes, I've driven many, many race cars. I've road raced. I've drag raced for many years. That's why I bought the shop, because I didn't like the shops around here. I used to have a string of race cars. One of the Corvettes wicked up on kill, and my 62 Plymouth drag car, and then other stuff. I've had cars all the time, but now I have more fun actually getting other people out to do it. It's kind of interesting as you get a little older and you've done everything. It's kind of fun to watch new people that get a chance to do different stuff to enjoy themselves. I love passing along the knowledge of what I've got going and all the time I've spent doing this stuff. If I can keep one person from making a horrendous, expensive mistake, then it's worth it. Chevy Silverado 6.0 Pro Charger or Screw Charger. Go Screw Charger. Damn it, I got two of those things back here, those Pro Chargers now that are problems. Always do a Screw Charger. And a 2.3 is great. Don't have to go any bigger than that because it'll make all the power the block will make. Don't get carried away. Create 400 small block from Jags, 850 CFM. Is it putting fuel injection on a good idea? No. The carburetor works great. You can make a carburetor do everything that a fuel injection setup can do except for cold start, cold run. And yeah, it's not as efficient. I get it. But the fuel injection has a couple drawbacks, including the fact they're going to beat you to death to buy the system. They do that $995 thing, and then that doesn't work. Saw something about if I got any E-Class in there. I do not. I've just got S-Class stuff here. Hey, do you have any Hellcat pulleys in stock? Yes, I do. I've got lots. Just call the guys at Metco and set up with those guys. They're awesome people. and just talk to them about getting the quick release stuff for your pulley on your Hellcat. Remember, you can only go down, I think, to an additional 4 pounds of boost before you run into troubles with both tuning and the fuel system. But ask Medco. They know everything. They've been doing it forever. Where's the build, Bart? Well, it's going to be in the back in section 4. I'll grab the camera and crank it up. Its piston slap is bad for a motor, but if you let it warm up so the piston grows and gets in the bore, so it doesn't bang back and forth, it doesn't hurt it long term, but you just can't go out and mat the throttle. Oh, your Hellcat ticks already when I started at 6,700 miles. Take a look and see if that is going to be coming from the supercharger. They've had some problems with the chargers making noise. If it goes away when it's warm, it's not so bad. Eric, give me a call on that when you get a chance on Monday or something like that, and we'll go over the whole thing. Get loose, thumbs up for that, man. Okay, cool. Double thumbs. Let's see. Sounds horrible for like 30 seconds, and sometimes when I'm a little hard on it, is it no, it's not. Should not make any noise. Should make a zipper sound zzz, as it spools up. Check with your dealer. Go back and tell them the damn thing's making noise. They should give you everything for free. Advice for starting a shop in 2019. Okay, tell you what you need, Corey. You need to do 3 things to start a shop. You got to be willing to sacrifice and not take a paycheck for probably a year or 2. You've got to be willing to put up with people that work for you that'll drive you crazy and you want to kill. You got to get an attorney to help you set everything up, and you got to get a banker that loves you, and then finally you got to find a accountant. Once you get all that done, I'm probably going to make a video. I've wanted to do it for a long time about starting a business and what you're going to need, because it's crazy shit, quite honestly. Hellcat or Ram tall guy reviews. I'll tell you what, that Hellcat, Andy, that he's got is so freaking loud that nobody can stand it. Yeah, we're going to put aluminum exhaust tips on that and take off that big heavy stainless steel stuff he's got for the weight reduction, but it's just going to be as loud. Oh, I love Freya valve train. I use Freya stuff all the time. I have not used any Super Tech, so I can't judge them, but I use Freya and Manley stuff all the time. Yes, I'll go back and work in the shop with the guys. Mr. Farley, how are you doing today? I do that. I'll go back and work with the guys. They don't like me around because I tend to be a little grouchy, and I expect them to kind of toe the line when I'm back there. I can do everything back there, but I'm always on the phone ordering parts, keeping up with people online, answering the phone, so I can make sure I kind of coordinate stuff. But yeah, can I do it? Yeah. Do I choose to do it anymore? No. What's for sale in the shop? Well, let's see. A guy just brought me in. I'll put it up online. A 65 Chevelle SS 283 car now with a big block, automatic glide, hard top. It's got a little rust to it, but the guy only wants $6,500. Pretty cool car. It's a real deal. It's got documents to it. I got my 65 Thunderbird I would sell, my private car that's blue. The paint is shiny, but you can tell where the paint's a little bit off. I'll pop that up for you guys to take a look at. It drives sweet, got a new 390, put all the parts in. It's great, but it's not a hot rod. I get stuff all the time. I'll put it up for you guys if you guys want to really look at different hot rods that are for sale. Taking that. Yep. Yeah, the boost thing. Yep, absolutely. Okay, Mr. Farley, you're the boss too? Cool. All right. I guess that's what you mean. Am the boss. All right. Do you have more building hot rods or modding on new cars? It's about 50-50. I would guess I would say probably 60% with the new cars, because I do stuff nobody else will play with. Superchargers on trucks, Hellcats, all the old stuff. I'm the last guy that actually knows what a carburetor is. When I saw them brand new as a kid. So that's why I do a lot. I do almost, I'm going to guess almost all the carburetor work on dynos, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Let's see. King bearings or Clevite. Either way, I usually bring both sets in when I'm checking for tolerances. They're both good. Just use I believe it's the XP series for King, and the Clevites are whatever the race series is, the hard ones. And make sure you set your bearing tolerances, right in the middle. I found that too tight gives you troubles, and too loose can be a freaking disaster. Turbo 105.3 upgraded cam pistons and 243 heads. If we're gonna go with all out type stuff, I'd put a single 70 on it, and and run it 2 into 1 and then back to an intercooler. It'll be a little bitchy down low. You could go down to a 66, but that'll get you that 650, 700 horsepower and 650, 700 foot-pounds of torque. Small car garbage mechanic. Yeah, it's not easy. It's just practice. Why do Hellcats go on fire? When that happens, that's a bad thing. We try not to have that happen here at High Tech. We do have a bunch of fire extinguishers everywhere. Oh, Wiseco or Pistons or JE? JECP. I do a lot of Diamond. I do Manleys. I think either one of those things, make sure you go with the 2618 forging. That's got a little more growth to it, but they tend to handle detonation and beatings a little bit. No, I don't recommend an overhaul for piston slap. If it goes away when it's warm, I wouldn't do it. Hey, Demonology, how you doing? We're just watching your video with some of the guys here with Hisham. Still think it's funny as hell. It's awesome. Corey, 2014 Z28s. I have not. I've got one customer that's got one, and so far he's piled into the wall up at Brainerd twice. So he's already got enough power, and he's not a great driver. Thank you, Mr. Farley. Appreciate all the kind words. Oh, Boss Mustang. Yeah. Yes. Boss Mustangs are awesome to drive. You just got to remember to get them to do their thing. You got to wick them up. RPM is everything on that car. Very cool car. I'd say it's more of a track car, kind of like the old Boss 302s with lots of gear and things like that, but they are a freaking hoot to drive. I actually prefer a GT500 Shelby going around town because of the instant 500 foot-pounds of torque. MMA fighter. Okay, cool. What's going on? Lewis Arts. Can you move to Atlanta? I got a 25,000 square foot building, and I think it's easier for me to ship you the Ram, and it's warmer there. I get that part, but I get lost in other parts of the world. I get on freeways, I'll end up in frickin' South Carolina. What's going on? Sitting here, YouTube police. Soul Snatcher in the building. Yeah, isn't that great? He actually, he's we got a bona fide ace out there. He's awesome. Demonology's online with us. That's terrific. Subscribe to Demonology. He knows what's going on. He's got probably the coolest car known to mankind since we built him here in a while. So don't miss out on that, guys. Call him on his private telephone line. I'm not going to do that. Percy, thank you very much. And trying to keep up here. 454 engine. I'm sorry, Solomon, I missed that about the 454. Tell me more about. I think I missed it. It's scrolling pretty fast here. Yeah, Demonology. Got guys saying hi to you. They don't care about me, but they want to talk to you. You should go live a lot, and then do that weird thing with South Park and stuff, which is pretty cool. I sign autographs. Yep, I'll be happy to sign autographs for you and put it on a T-shirt. Send you one of my business cards. You can come by in person. I'll sign your arm or your forehead or whatever makes you happy. Gapping rings for boost or just gapping them. No. You've got to gap the rings for the application you're doing. And every bore size and piston growth is different. You cannot have those rings gap. They cannot pop together. You've got to make sure they've got just a little bit of gap there. And the ring manufacturers send along what they tell you should do. And yeah, you got to gap them. Absolutely, for what you're doing. Herman, here for your soul. Cool. Yeah, I get it. Too late, man. Every time I walk near a church, lightning starts to gather. I'm not sure what that's all about. Upgrades you're doing to Hellkeezy for the drag strip. Demonology, yeah, we've got new axle shafts coming from the guys at Inland Empire or whatever, and we've got BMR stuff coming, a full kit. And I've got the new wheels coming from the guys at Raystar with the tires that you talked about. The only change I'm doing is I'm taking off the heavier fronts and putting on itsy bitsy tiny Race Masters that are light. So yeah, we're doing all that stuff and taking a bunch of weight out. There's gonna be a big pile that's going on. I got to try to compete with you there, man. I mean, number one I got to make sure Corey can actually drive the car by just stepping on the gas. There can't be a whole lot of excitement going on there. Molly, how you doing? Try to keep up, everybody. It's going pretty fast. How much does dyno tuning cost there? So I do a baseline for $75, and then I do tuning custom software stuff for $150 an hour, 2 hours minimum. Dodge, Chevy, and Ford all have packages for them. The Dodge is the most expensive because of the computer. Man, these drag street strips. Make sure you guys hit the like on Bart's video. Demonology said hit the like, okay? Appreciate it. Demonology, you're the best. You should move to Minneapolis. Wrong. It's cold here. It sucks. Pastime here on this development. Coming for the soul. Bart is I don't know if I'm a master mechanic, but I'm a master something. You can fill in the blank. How should I mod my GA GT? Oh, cool. Yeah, I got looking full exhaust headers, tune. What should I do next? I want to be reliable. Yeah, just put a camshaft into it. That's a great cylinder head setup. The one I use all the time is, let's see, for an automatic car with a stock converter, I'll do like a 220, because they're the LS3 heads, like a 224, 234, put it on a 113 and advance it 3 degrees and 600 lift. It'll run like $1 million. Run really good. And appreciate all the Buy My Merch stuff. That's awesome. And Monty 604 retracted his message. Boy, it must have been. All right. What up, redneck? That's me. I'm too old to be a redneck, dude. Best brakes, Brembo aftermarket brakes, and disc for my Boss Mustang. You don't need aftermarket brakes, dude. That's got the best set of brakes since God created the earth. Just all you got to do is touch them. It'll put you right through the windshield. Women glasses. Yeah, these are dollar store glasses that I use, are 1.5 because I can't read close up. Trying to keep up with everybody, and I lose them all the time. So I go to the dollar store and I'll buy a half dozen, and then we go from there. See that? Okay. I can't read the stuff on the side. It's too small. Hellcat or 392, which is better for racing? Absolutely the Hellcat. Oh yeah, Demonology, you're going to teach him how to drive. I'll bet you can jump into his car. He'll probably run like a 10 flat. And you'll jump into the car and run a 975. Just saying. Hellcat. New Demon Red Eye, or the Red Eye is what I would pick. Do high compression flat face valves help gain a bit difference in compression? No. It's such a minor thing versus a tulip valve. It's not really important. They have race valves with different configuration. Is it Modi 604? Yeah, that's pretty deep stuff. And if you're doing heads and cam, I don't know which heads are you working with, because most heads don't have to be done on the newer cars. Camshaft is everything. We can maximize the cubic inches. Watch my camshaft video. That's everything that talks about camshafts, how they work, then the cylinder heads and what they do. At Demonology, Cold, Minnesota. Don't I know it? If I could move this 25,000 square foot building, I would be all over that crap. But it's really big. Don't buy a smart car. I gotcha. Just told Bart mine. Yeah, everybody wants. One guy Atlanta. One guy wants me in Dallas. Nobody wants me here. I don't know what that's all about. Do you remember John Herman? I went to the same school. Ooh, I got to look that up. It's very familiar. Yeah, I've heard of the elephant. You bet. Everybody has. I've got about 9 people that sent me stuff about that. It's going to be really cool. And I just want to make sure that they aren't breakable first before I actually install one for a guy. Let's see. One Deep Mechanic. I haven't seen anybody with too bad of a troll today. I mean, nobody's asked me to take my shirt off yet, so I'm kind of ahead of the game. Lowering kit for better performance. I don't know which one you're on right there. And the performance for lowering, yes, that will help the car handle better, but you got to make sure that the car corners correctly, and you have to change your camber. Otherwise, you get to the inside or outside of the tire when you turn. Want to get better performance? Yep. What would you charge to install cam DOD delete into my G8? You don't need to do the DOD delete. I can just turn them off on the computer. If it's not ticking already, I'm going to save you the money because the heads have to come up. I'll just turn it off. And I do a cam install, springs, locks, retainers, push rods, before and after dyno runs, ARP crank bolt, ARP cam bolt, everything inclusive. Takes me 3 days and it's $3,500 complete. That's everything. Goes like a bastard. You'll love it. It's okay. I was asking for advice for my GMC Sierra 1982. Oh, cool. Do some mods since we have hot weather to not let it overheat. Yeah, that's going to be all cooling system and keeping the thing up on idle and making sure that your fans are working properly, and then blow the radiator out. That's what goes on with those old big blocks and stuff. They're heat sinks, man. They work good at 10 below zero. Not so much when it's 110. Come visit me. We're going to have 10 below zero soon. Your truck will run. Perfect. Let's pick your brain. Yes, happy to do it. No, I'm happy to do it. If I can pass on some knowledge to you guys, and you know, I'm fast approaching. I'm 57 years old, so you guys are the wave of the future. In about 10 years or something like that, I'll be walking around with Corey, and he'll have a cane and I'll have a walker. It'll be awesome. Let's see. Air conditioner, a little more power on my Crate 400. Down says it makes 47 at 6,100 and 507 torque at 4,200. I'd have to look that up. 47 out of a 400 is a little weak, but I have to look at the cylinder heads. And also, if it's a flat tappet cam brand, you can change it to a roller cam. It's a little bit of work, but you can get away with a lot more lift with less duration and feed the motor and it'll work better for sure. Pretty sure you worked there for a few. Oh, really? I got to look that up. Do you on the shop? I don't know what I do. Mr. Farley, do you on the shop? Don't know. If you do a drop-in cam, do you degree it? We do degree them in for the most part, but when we're doing them in the car, we put them in dot to dot because I have all my stuff ground by comp cams on their Makumo computer machine. I've never seen one off by more than half a degree, which doesn't really mean anything. Everybody's like, oh, I should degree that in. Chain slop will make a bigger difference than what that cam is ground to. And then you got to start using keys that are off a half degree. It becomes a real problem child. What is my dream car? I would love to buy that 29 Duesenberg Model SJ. Look that up online. Every one of them's got a history. Every one was owned by a celebrity. This freaking coolest thing, supercharged straight 8. They're big. They're really cool. They're all hand built. And they're about, I think they're $2.5 million now. So it's a little out of my price range for the time being. Forever. So there you go. I think if all my relatives die, I'd end up having to pay $20,000 to bury them. Let's see. What is your dream car? Yep, did that. Thank you, MMA. I've been working cars since I was 13. Came for 7 years. I'm 27. Cool. Yeah, being a mechanic. I mean, that's technicians are tougher and tougher to find. Good ones are worth their weight in gold. God knows my guys are making a shitload of money. You know, I collect the best of the best. I like working on clean stuff that's fast rather than on leftover beat up old stuff at your local whatever. I'm still young. Thank you, Mr. Farley. I appreciate all the thought process on that, but it's the miles. Nate, the LS3 after the cam swaps, they'll make 475 to 500 crank horse. Everyone's a little bit different, depends what you got for bolt-ons, but it's significantly better. And it just, my cams are designed to work down at stock 2,000 RPM and then pull away from the stock cam like a bastard. Demonology, what's your thoughts on straight piping the Demon after the Cats without a tune? Yeah, you can do that, Demonology. Take that stuff right off there. It doesn't make any difference. Anytime after the rear O2s, whatever you do in the pipe, the bigger the better. That thing with back pressure and stuff, that's an old wives' tale. Open that bad boy up. It'll go faster. 2011 6.2. Yeah, the DOD delete, I just turned that off, and the cars live a long and happy life. Boss Hog. Kansas City, Mo, Philadelphia. Yeah, we just turn it off and put a cam in those things, and they freaking rip. Our ARP main stud's worth the line home. The ARP main studs, you put it together, you put it in with the main studs, and you put the caps in it, and then measure it, and make sure that it's not out of round, and you didn't change things a whole lot. A little bit of football shape is okay because the stress when it starts to move will open it up again. We'll routinely see like 2.5 thou. On the thrust, and then the football side is maybe 3.25, 3.5. If it gets too out of round, you got to do the line hone. But no, there's no reason to do a line hone if the thing is relatively round. It's just not worth it. Sorry about that. So the price I do for just a base turn off the DOD and doing a tune is $375. If you want to dyno it up, it's $550. I don't do anything by remote control because the car's never perfect. I do them all right here. I'm sorry about that. If you're in Philadelphia, I can get you a name of a guy that does a good job. Hey, Bart, was hoping you did my 455. Done several of those. They're out running around making big torque and 500 to 600 horsepower. Oh, I'm the owner. Yeah, I'm the owner. This is my retirement. I was a commodities guy for 21 years. I worked in a lumber brokerage, and I've got my law degree. So years ago when I had my race cars, I wanted my own shop because the other shops were pissing me off. So I bought my own shop, and then it got bigger and bigger. So I semi-retired. Turns out it's a lot of work. 11 years, 20. Yeah, that's mechanic. Ask for more money. You'll be okay. The guy will have to tell you yes. Otherwise, go someplace else. And I hope my guys don't watch this because I'm not giving you. Okay, Chris, John, Bill, especially you, Bill. All right. Let's see. I'll take for you to tell the difference between a regular Challenger and Hellcat parked not running. Well, about if I walk up to it, probably about 10 seconds, see if it's got the badges on it. If I have to pop the hood, that's really easy. This loves us answers the question for free. Huh? Yep, I'm here. Thanks for all the knowledge. The 470, 480 off of Jegs from Blueprint Engines, a roller cam, a set of their lumen heads. Check their lumen head flow numbers on the intake side and the exhaust, and then call me back, Brandon, and we'll go over it together about what they're doing. I thought that one was a flat tappet cam, but if it's a roller, we can change that up. We'll have to check the spring pressures, and we can poop that thing right up there with a newer style roller grind. I think they're still using some older stuff that's got very, very soft lobes. You still have infinity miles to go. Marty, I appreciate that. I'm not sure I want infinity miles to go, but I appreciate it. Would you buy a Hellcat? Yes, I would buy a Hellcat. If they made a convertible, there'd be one sitting out back right now. I just like to have the top go down. We get like 3 nice days here in Minneapolis, and I want to be able to drive with the top down. But the Hellcat is the best bargain going right now. You can buy them used for 40 to 50 grand. They're awesome cars. Try not to smash it up. They're too heavy. I'm going to give you a whole list in the video of stuff to make them lighter to get the times down to where you can run a mid 10-second car on the street and be ready to rock and roll. I want to cam my 97 Crown Vic up. Can I buy from you and send it to you? Yeah, you can send it to me. I would probably end up taking the motor out and putting a new one in with the PI heads and PI intake, because that's going to make a big difference. And I put the stage 2s in. I would flat out tell you the Crown Vic's a really cool car, but it's kind of old in the tooth. So there's a lot of stuff that Ford makes for not a lot of money, or Chevy or Dodge, that we can spend that money I would have put into your Crown Vic with gears and converter and all that stuff. And they're fast, but I want to make sure you're putting your money into the best use. So I'd tell you flat out, we'll talk about some other cars you can buy and they're ready to rock and roll. Would I pick a Hellcat over GT350R? Depends what I was doing with it. I love Dodge stuff, so that's kind of a bitter problem, and I love Ford stuff, so that's a bigger problem. The Hellcat is a drag race, straight ahead, have fun, scare yourself every day. The GT350R is a piece of machinery that's damn near unequaled. I mean, it's just handles. Ford guys are brilliant. They put all their stuff in that, and that 350R is a badass. It just needs to go left, right, left, and after you've crashed a few cars going left, right, left, you kind of just stick with a straight ahead. But either one of those cars, man, if I had a big enough garage, I'd have 2 of those things. But I'd have a Demon instead of the Hellcat, which I can't afford. Cost to stop a 392 into a Ram 1500. If you've got a 5.7, I wouldn't put the 392 in, quite honestly, Lewis. I'd stick with the 5.7. I can make it faster than a 392. The 392 stock with the pistons has proven to be kind of a little fragile, breaking the tops of the pistons off. So does dyno tune on a carb run the same price as fuel injection? No, carburetor is mostly cheaper. It's $150 an hour, and I've got all the parts in stock for all the carburetors. Usually it takes 2 hours. We do the distributor at the same time. No raise for Bill. Damn right. Bill, if you're on watching this shit, thanks for showing up today on Saturday. I appreciate that. Being 2 hours late, not so much. He's a cool guy. He's just humorous. Open the top, smoke a doobie. Not my bag. I'm a red wine guy. I'm a Cabernet guy. Cabernet and a big-ass steak and some mashed potatoes. I'm kind of there, which makes me take a nap. New Silverado with the 5360 and 6.2. 6.2's got problems. They're having problems with the intake valves now coking up. Love the 6.0. That'd be my first choice. The 5.3's got the DOD. That would probably be second choice, but I would do the 6.0. If you got to get a 5.3, see you, Bill. If you got to do a 5.3, then just get the DOD taken off right away, and the thing will live. It'll go 300,000 miles if you change oil. If you don't, they go like between 125 and 150, and then they take out the lifters. Do you sell aftermarket parts for LS builds? Yep, all day long. Happy to set you up with parts, put together combinations. I mostly sell camshaft stuff, and I can recommend who to go to. You can buy them direct. Do whatever you want me to do. Hey, San Jose, California. How you doing out there? Appreciate it, Jason. Hope you guys are okay out there. I know it's been kind of rough. Dad's got a Cutlass with a 550C. Oh, I'm sorry about that with a Cutlass. I missed it. It rolled past too fast. A lot of guys. Gather paperwork and shoot you a call. Oh, yeah, that'd be great, Brandon. Just give me a call on Monday. I'll be here starting at 7 a.m. Oh, yeah. That 350 Mustang, that's 8,800, 9,000. It's cool. John, how you doing? I'm here. 2012 Focus. Oh, yeah. Focus SEL Faster. You take the Focus in, you trade it on a GT500, or you chain it on. We've thrashed those little things to death, and quite honestly, it's she's a little bit of a, it's a good economy car. But trying to thrash that poor thing, all it does is make its life shorter. First live stream, how you doing, Lucas? Rotary engines. Yeah, they're all kind of weird compression. I haven't worked on them for years. I used to have RX-7s, and they can be made to run. They work really good, but quite honestly, they end up having the apex seals going on, a bunch of other stuff. Cool little car. Let's put an LS in your car. Send it to me. I fix. It'll be the low-cost option to make my 2013 Charger RT all-wheel drive. Gain more horsepower. John's Hemi, we do those all the time with a 2.3 blower. Hang on, guys. Yeah, we just did one with a 2.3 Edelbrock, and the thing was frighteningly fast. Otherwise, that small camshaft will work really good. Can you rebuild a T5 for bigger power? Nope. They're just plain old-fashioned. All the parts are too small. It's like a little bit, broke, ink. Yeah, I got a couple of those on display where we twisted the front end off. Oh, the low cost. I'm sorry, John. Cold air intake first, and then I change if you can change the front and rear gears or put a converter in it, do a 3,000 stall converter. That'll make the thing much quicker. And as far as the sound goes, just cut the resonator and the muffler off. Go one at a time. Do the muffler first, then the resonator. Make sure you get the sound where you want it. Julian, ready. What is your labor cost per hour? I'm $135 an hour. I'm $150 on the dyno. And my next appointment is like mid-December. We eat like kings when you come to Texas. I expect that demonology. You guys are right there in the heart of steer country. Go get them. Ribeye or porterhouse. I got to go with porterhouse on that. I know it's the old-fashioned thing, but I love porterhouse stuff. I know it's bad for me. Well, my wife isn't watching. We're good. The Hellcat, oh, yard Mohammed. That Hellcat is not making 1,000 horsepower. Changed my mind, old guy. Well, I got the new wheels and tires coming in the half shafts. We're going to wick it up on race gas. I'm going to put the thing on. We'll put two dead bodies or 3 guys in the trunk. And with I will get you that 800 plus with the wheels type stuff. I just haven't seen the car in like 4 months, guys. I mean, I could have fixed all this stuff, but I can't do it on Pirelli all-season radials. It just won't go there. Parts on the site or call you Monday. Oh, just call me. I got to take them off the site anyhow, so just call me up and I'll give you the full list or we can talk it over. Yeah, 1,000 at the crank. That's 800 at the wheel. And remember, I got to keep Corey's car alive, and he drives it everywhere. I mean, this guy drives across country to race guys in Pennsylvania and goes to visit sick kids in the hospital. I can't give him something that's fragile. His other buddy's broken his motor twice. So my job is to keep that motor alive. When's my next live? It's up to Hisham. Probably next Saturday. If everybody likes Saturdays, I'll do that. Hisham's coming back, so he says yes. I'm not smart enough for the computer to do this. You guys beat that 720S. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's kind of nice to see a big old American car. We'll see if we can't beat that all-wheel drive. It's got a huge advantage, but since I know what I'm doing, it's going to be Demonology 911 Porsche GT350R. You know what? Totally different cars. I've had both of them. The Porsche is just fun to throw around like a go-kart in my brain. The GT350R is much it's a cross between German engineering and America hot rod. So I got to pick on that one, the GT350R. But God, I love that Porsche 911. They're a freaking hoot to drive. But when you go and you break something, you better have a platinum card with you or that big black AMX card because they're going to beat you to death. Right, Demonology? You bet. You can tune the 5.7 Hemi to how much horsepower? You're only going to pick up 15 to 20 horse with a tune. I don't care what they say online. Cold air intake's worth 10 to 15, and the tune will pick up a little bit after that. But they just didn't leave us that much on the bone. 350 all the way, and you've seen the new GT500. You know what? I'm waiting to test drive that. The guys at Ford are going to let me drive that GT500, the new one, when they get one in over at Casey's place. So I'll let you know about that one, but I'm sure it's going to make me all giggles and car keys. Would you continue to build a T195 351 Windsor motor in a Fox body or buy a used newer Coyote or Roadrunner? Okay. My favorite in that 95 is I've done 408s with the Windsors. I got to flat out tell you, the hot ticket is to take a 460 motor. They make the conversion and make it into a 555 Super Cobra Jet or Kazi heads, and one really big carburetor or two 950s on top, and they'll make 900 horse. Actually detune them a little bit to 800, 850 for the street, but I would actually do that. Keep it all Ford. The Coyote thing is cool. God knows I love Roadrunners, but they're freaking expensive. I think I'd stick with the Fox when I'd go with the 460 555 cubic inch. I can give you the build sheet on that for the one we're doing that's running 594s, using only one gear, second gear, not even the trans brake out in a quarter mile. Keeps getting thrown out of the track because his cage doesn't qualify. Change of the fuel pump and injectors, then dyno tune. No, John, I wouldn't do that. John's Hemi. You don't need to change the fuel pump and injectors if they're big enough, and most of them are right away. If that's your Hellcat, you don't have to do that. It's just a lot of money for no apparent reason. Turbo 400 or 700R4 for 455 Skylark. I would actually build a 700R4 because the 7R4 gives you ability for overdrive, so you can run a 410 gear in the back or something like that, and then with a 0.67 overdrive, the thing will cruise real nice down at 2600 with a 28-inch tire. The 700R4 has to be built. It will cost you more to build a 700R4 than for the Turbo 400. Turbo 400 is inherently very, very strong with big parts. The 700R4 is just a Turbo 350 with overdrive band and a spare gear. 720S is not all-wheel drive. Oh, I thought the thing was that green thing that kids got. 717 speed, whatever he calls himself. I should have kept the Trackhawk. What do you think? You know, the Trackhawk has proven that you don't need something in the middle of a snowbank that's making 500-600 horsepower. The guys that do that are running the Porsche stuff, and they're running around at a high rate of speed. I think he had the option to either take the Trackhawk or a Demon, and you know which one I would pick. One old the greatest. How you doing? Hisham is very smart with computers. Nate Sand says in video photo editing, he does all of my stuff. All right, so one of your guys is actually checking with you on my live web. That's awesome. I tell everybody check the live. Oh, Nate says I should buy your G8. I don't want a G8. The top doesn't go down. You guys got to work with me here, dude. It's like I want a convertible.
Yeah, just for sale. Anyone
yeah. Hisham will sell his G8. We can fix it up, make it right. I think it's pretty good now. Kyle's got it all screwed up. We can fix it. Is it working good or not?
It is kind of working good. It just needs it to him right now.
Apex seals goes will still start. No, when the Apex seals go out, and you can check it just by putting, it won't fire off. It'll kind of do the and then maybe sometimes it'll run, but that's the problem with those little motors. The Apex seals go out all the time, especially if you lean on them. Greetings. Yeah, I know they can make power. Carolina. Polsk. Are you in Poland? I hope so. Maybe like 3 people that don't live in my neighborhood. Let's see. You said Bart, you could get 500 horsepower out of the 5.7 in an older video, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 500 crank horsepower you can do depending on the bolt-ons. They need long tubes, cold air intake, camshaft, open exhaust, and they make 500 crank horsepower. The reason I bring up 475 to 500, and that's with the 09 up heads you got to have. The other older ones aren't quite as good. We need to do, Czechoslovakia. Hey, cool. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. The problem is some people have just manifolds, and then they have stock exhaust on it, and they've got a stock air box. I can't fight restrictions that bad, so they're always just a little bit less horsepower and torque. 5.7 Hemi 2018 model, cam tune, intake basics. Yep. I would start out, first of all, run up your numbers and see what they put for a rear gear in it, and then we can do a camshaft, cold air intake, and then tune it up, and they freaking rip. And then if you get even more crazy, we can put in a set of 370 gears in the back or something like that, and that'll quicken the car up a ton and change the splits and the gears. And then we can do a converter. After that, you're pretty much running down in the 11s, and they're going like a bastard, and you're pretty much done. That's all an 87 octane gas, too, so that's pretty cool. What is the back axle ratio doing? Example, 3.7 or 813. I don't know. We're just asking. Okay, 813 sounds like something out of the Bible, but the 370, what that is, the ring gear that powers the wheels goes around 3.7 times to 1 time of the wait a minute, is that backwards? No, the pinion, the drive shaft goes around 3.7 times for every 1 time that the wheels go around. The deeper the ratio, so a 3.70 is 3.7 times going around. A 456 would be 4.56. Most of those cars came with like a 260 gear or like a 306 gear. Hellcats came with a 262, and Demon got a 309. The deeper the gear, the quicker they are. The gear splits are more aggressive. Makes the car run quicker, but it does kill some of the gas mileage. 13 R2 all-wheel drive still have the stock. Factory rims. If I upgrade to 20 by 10 around, will I need to change rear diffs, rid of the components in order to get a smooth drive? When you get rid of the sidewall on your tires, John's Hemi, you will end up with a little bit stiffer ride. If you're doing it just for looks, go for it. It won't change anything. Don't make the car tires much taller because it fills the wheel well up pretty good already. To me, that's $1,500, $2,000 plus in wheels and tires for nothing. So, 717 speed. Is that you? How you doing? I think so. No offense. Got somebody from Turkey. Thank you very much. My life is Turkey. My like is Turkey. Okay, makes sense. Love the show, by the way. Trying to soak up the knowledge like a sponge. Yeah, when I get all these people on, I go pretty fast. So if you've got any other questions and I miss out on you, you can just end up calling me because I'm here all the time. But I only got 3 phone lines, guys. So if it comes back as a busy signal, I'm doing the best I can. But I talk to a lot of people, and I get like 100 and some emails a day. Mostly because some people are like, man, you're pretty matter of fact about this stuff, and you don't blow a lot of sunshine. The answer is, yeah, that's what I do. And you're welcome very much. 2V, New Edge, Mustang, or 4V. Yeah, putting the 4V in. Those things need a supercharger. The 2V needs a supercharger. I guess I would the easier swap for that thing, if you're still working on that Crown Vic, is the 2V. 4V is even bigger and wider than the 2V. It's crazy. Taking a 91 non-oxy, 93. I've heard 91 oxy is very close to 93. No, the oxygen rating is the oxygen rating. The 93 that we get up here, the non-oxy, does not have alcohol in the fuel. The alcohol fuel, I actually like it if you're driving the cars all the time because it cleans the back of the intake valves, keeps the intake port clean on stuff that's port injected. It's a great solvent. It doesn't like to sit. So guys that are doing small engines like your snowblower, which I hope I never have to use again, or outboard motors and stuff like that, they'll end up running non-oxy because it's all petroleum and doesn't have alcohol. When it evaporates, the alcohol leaves kind of a white residue behind, and that can clog your little tiny carburetors and stuff. But I always run the 91 non-oxy in my stuff, and when I'm driving, it works great. If I let it sit, I put race gas in my stuff that sits without oxygen sensors because I know that's 100 octane. And it's going to be really good next spring. What's the best drag set for a Challenger? Hey, Donald. We've been using for street strip use, and it seems to be pretty popular, the Mickey Thompson drag R's, and as wide as you can possibly get it. I think we've got 315 45 17s coming for the Hellcat. That's pretty good compound. They'll run down in the 10s. I don't know if we can push it to a 9. We'll give it a shot. But that's what we've been doing is the Mickey Thompsons have proved to be a little bit better than the Nittos. No offense, Nitto guys. Jerry K from Canada, freezing my ass up here. Yep, you're farther north than I am, dude. I have no idea why either one of us are where we're at. Except I grew up here and I can't find my way out of here. Board 5.7 year and 8. Nope. If the thing is okay and runs like $1 million, opening up the board 20, 30 thousandths is not going to help a whole hell of a lot. Don't waste the time. I have a question. Okay, Genty, I'm ready. Bart, I have a question. John Stafford from Douglasville, Georgia. Hey, John, what's up? John's Hemi. Going for 2 things. My 13 Charger out to show and go, but not going to take it to the track. Hence the reason I'm looking to go for 20 by 10 rims for looks, but I do want more HP with basic mods. Yep, I get it. The problem is the cars are so good that the basic mods start with a cold air intake and then cut the exhaust apart, and that does the exact same as a full flow exhaust. Actually getting rid of the manifolds and the cats have not proven to be that big a deal. It does make them louder, but doesn't really make a whole lot more power. And after that, we got to go camshaft and then supercharger. They're just a good motor. They do not need head port work up to about 700 horse. It's you got a 13. You're in great shape. Are you on to Audi VW tuning and modding? I am not. I've been looking for a Mercedes, BMW, Audi tuner for the last 10 years that I would happily give half the tuning money to. If he knows what he's doing, I'll even set him up with an all-wheel drive dyno. But everybody that's called me to do stuff has no clue about what they're doing. They don't have any software, so that's like $20,000. And so I haven't made the jump off that yet. And I'm so busy with the American stuff, I'd have to have a guy that could literally take over his own division here in the building. I got a spot for the all-wheel drive too. So we got 95 octane cleaner than 93. Wow. 95 octane's good. Big compression. That'll probably help in the heat too. Let's see. I need a tune for my 2018 Dodge Charger RT. I don't do anything over the phone. Talk to, Johan down in Diablo Tuna, T-U-N-A, DiabloTuna.com. And he can set you up with a tune for your stuff. I think maybe the HP tuner guys can do it too now, but Diablo Tuna, very smart man, knows his stuff, can take care of you easily and does it over the phone while he's got his feet up looking out at the ocean, which is smarter than I am. He's down in Florida. Yep. Demonology says, yep, 315, 50, 17s. Okay, that's what it is, a 315, 50, 17s. Yeah, Demonology, I got those things from the race something guys in Kansas City. They came off the owner's car, so I got those 95, whatever they are. They're light. Thanks for the tip on that. They're on their way, and if I ever get Corey's car, I'll be able to do some work on it. Let's see. Turbo LS53, 76 mil turbo and BTR stage 4. Stay away from the big cam. I don't know what the BTR stage 4 is, but it sounds like 2 stages too big. That thing is going to be, it's too big, and the thing's going to be laggy on the turbo. They're kind of a bitch to drive. They make big power up top. All they do is break stuff. So a 76 turbo, depends what you got for intercooler piping, the whole thing, but it'll easily go somewhere near the 750 to 800 horse. And the LS53 will probably end up in little pieces. They're real tough, but in E85, man, you're going to need some really big injectors. 120s, something like that, at least. And a big-ass pump and dash 10 lines to the front, maybe dash 12. HQ, currently living in Saudi Arabia. Very cool. My son he was over there doing some work for his cottonseed business, and he says it's quite the place, and it was hotter than hell. So there you go. We're crazy about Audis and modding Audis here in Vancouver. I love Vancouver. The only place in the world where I've ever gotten a freeway that goes from 6 lanes down to 1 in downtown. Scared the shit out of me. 1 minute you're doing 70, and the next you're doing 2. Fun place to party, though. Used to do a lot of that back in my lumber days. Is it okay if my G8 is tuned for 93 octane, but it run 91 Oxy V-Power? It should be. And the reason it should be okay is the fact that the knock sensor should still be enabled, Nate, in that thing. And if it pings a little bit, it'll take timing on fix itself. You may want to buy the software to just go ahead and run it and do a little data logging and see if you're getting some detonation in it and it's taking timing out. I can't find 93 here besides BR. Yeah, just run 91. It's probably really close. I don't know who tuned it. If it's that thing that was on the handheld, it's probably okay. But if you're getting knock retard, then we'll deal with it. Come see me. I can fix that problem. My Audi 85 could use a tune. One of the intake manifold flappers broke, so I took it all 8 out. It runs like crap. Yeah, I know enough about those motors to know that when you start taking that stuff apart for the long runner versus short runner and everything changes, it's a disaster. I mean, I got to tell you flat out, man, the American stuff, I can kind of take it apart, put it together in my sleep and tell you all about it. And I love Audi stuff. It's freaking cool. Goes like hell. But I'm telling you, they can be a little bit of a maintenance problem going somewhere to happen. I got 2 Mercedes like that. They're just like really cool shit. And then they break and the coil packs are $900 a piece. And oil changes are like $250. And that's my cost. Julian, no, it's not a dumb question. You're all right. I love nitrous when it's going over the top for a top end pull. I always do a wet setup. I can do a 75 dry with a fuel injection setup. But if you maximize the horsepower and torque you've got, and you need just a little bit more for a top end pull, really difficult to get them to work down low, and they need to be tuned correctly. Other than that, yeah, put a 150 shot that makes 150 at the wheels and 250 foot-pounds of torque. Don't engage it till around 3,000 RPM because a backfire will blow the intake manifold somewhere near Mars. Doesn't start the car on fire, but God damn it, it makes a mess. It's pretty cool we've done that stuff, but it's always funny when it's somebody else's. Hi, Mohammed. How you doing? I have no idea. I can't read that. What's your take on new Dodge Durango? Asking for the wife. You know, I haven't even played with a new one yet, and I'm so busy with, doesn't she want a Hellcat? How about a Hellcat? Give her a Hellcat. Probably like that just fine. You know, SRT8 Jeep's pretty cool. They go really good. I have to wait for that. 3V 4.6 recommended anything. Okay, so the 463 valve, they fixed the problem with the 462 valve, except for the fact it's only 281 cubic inches. We got those in back. And the only thing to do with those things is put a screw charger on top. And that's what we're going to do on that Sport Track. They don't make a kit, but we're going to make one from the Edelbrock folks. And then we're going to do, we've got that yellow Celine in back that we're just finishing up on. It had a little oil leak in it, so we had to take front cover off because there was a crack in the cover right from Ford. But yes, the 3-valve, forget about camshafts. It doesn't help. The cubic inch is too small. They'll move quite a bit of air, but just go get a 2.3, 2.4, 2.8 supercharger, plop it on top, run about 8 to 10 pounds of boost. They'll make 500-600 horse, and they live forever. A lot of fun. Play with Hondas. Nope, I don't. But drag racing is drag racing. If you want, my technician, John, my top guy, he's got a Mitsu that runs down in the 9s, but his is all-wheel drive and looks like it should be in a junkyard. And but he can enlighten you on that stuff. But that is a all-wheel drive car, but it looks like it should be crushed. I think it's freaking horrible. Faster than shit, though. Let's see. Sending my Ram to you this summer. I'll be right here 6 days a week. You'll find me. I'll make it run. Really important with those Rams. If we're going to do a Charger, that works out great. If you just want a camshaft, a small camshaft, we got to stay on it to make torque because they run down the highway at about 1,300 RPM, and you don't want them boggy down there. You'll be pissed at me, and I'm not going to do that. Stage 1 Roush sale near me. I was thinking was blower. The engines in those Roushes, I believe, are all stock. I'd have to look up the specs, but if they're just the regular cast hyper pistons in there, you can run about 6 pounds of boost. And I wouldn't pay for the Roush to do that. I just get a regular Mustang and do it then because the Roush is going to carry a bigger chunk of change. But you can probably correct me on that, CL, about what the pistons are in the Roush. I don't think they did any Ford stuff like Cobra, but I might be wrong. What can would you suggest for my 2013 all-wheel drive, and would you need any other parts to go with that? Cold air intake is what you need. And the one I did that was really successful, 222, 232, 600, 600. We put it on a 114 and rocked it, advanced at 3 degrees. And I'll tell you what, the last one we did with that all-wheel drive, that thing was frighteningly effing fast to about 150, where I chickened out. But it just got out. It really would make you sick like a carnival ride. Give you that queasy stomach thing when you step on it. It's kind of fun. A lot of fun. Hey, Baja, California. Very nice. Bet your weather's better there, too. I go down to San Diego once in a while because my rich relatives have a place out there. But working here 6 days a week, it makes for kind of an exciting time. So, all right. I'm caught up. Anybody else got stuff? I'm still here. More. She wants the SRT8 Jeep, but we need third row. Is thinking on doing V8 instead of the V6 Durango. Yeah, that's kind of like kissing your sister. So you go ahead and do that. SRT8 Jeep, man, that's really nice on the inside. I just put the kids on the roof rack and let her rip. I mean, what the hell, right? Put a trailer behind the thing. That'll work.
Was that Nate?
Yeah, it's Nate. Yeah. Nate, you know I'm kidding, right? And everybody out there says I'm putting kids on top of the TV. I'm on top of the car. I'm really not doing that. It's kind of trying to make fun of the guy, but a little bit. Thoughts on the new Hemi?
Tell him he should come here.
I love Hemi.
Saturday. Join the live.
Okay, Hisham says, Nate, you're supposed to come here next Saturday. And you can do this. Oh, he's laughing now. Okay. Yeah, new Hemi is a great motor. Probably one of the best motors ever made. Gotten a long way to make that thing run right. First set of cylinders are kind of poopy, and they had problems with dropping valve seats in the early ones. But they got all the bugs worked out, and it's one of my favorite motors. Actually, Ford, Chevy, and Dodge have stepped up in a big way to make really good stuff. Mr. Car Wash, how you doing? And hell, I got really TV. Oh, you mean the new 1,000 horsepower thing? I'd love to test one, but I think we're going to find that they're going to have some kind of problems with casting flaws or some kind of stuff. Nate said he's got house stuff to do. You pussy, get over here. You can do house. You can't race your house, dude. Come on, get over here. All right, what do we got here? Hello from Dominican Republic. Hi, I know it's warmer there too. Every place except for the guy from Canada has got it figured out better than me. New Jersey would love to send my 13 all-wheel drive. Oh, yeah, I'm asking you about it, but it's not an option for me. The closest place to me would be HHP or Maryland. I've talked to them. I've worked with them before. I don't know that much about them. They've got a pretty good reputation. I don't just when they come up with a plan for you, let's talk it over and make sure that they're not selling you stuff you don't need. Nate, give me the 3 smiley faces, but not the part about you're working on your house. Hi, Alex. Thank you. I want to get a 2018 5.3 Silverado single cab. How fast could I make one of those? I can get them to run. We start running out of power with a supercharger and everything else. I can do it about 180 miles an hour. We just can't pierce the air. Even with 650, 700 horse, it's a big frontal area. They'll run 12s with a set of tires on them, put it in all-wheel drive. They'll run 12s or low 13, depending on how hot it is. Yeah, cool thing. You can drive it all the time. You got to change over 3,000 miles. I know it says 25,000 on the little light thing, but that's not right. But I can do that for you. That 604 Modi 604, I can do that. Any shops in Oklahoma? I do not. Maybe Demonology can chirp in here, and he's closer. Just looking at a map, he probably knows all the good guys in his area too. So I would live and die by what he says because he's got it figured out. Fort Sill, hey, how you doing? I love the military. I hope you're having fun down there. Once again, you're warmer than I am. Where's Corey and Mr. Organic? You know, they fly by once in a while when they need something done. I had Corey up here with his wife's truck and his brother's stuff a couple, 3 weeks ago, and I haven't seen Organic for a little while. He's busy all the time. They're all busy, and they're really busy doing their thing and making videos. And, you know, I know for a fact Corey's been going and visiting kids in hospitals and stuff and taking them for rides in the Hellcat. So he's been doing a lot of stuff for charity, so I get that. Yeah, John, hey, I'm happy to help out. Like I say, I'm just trying to pass on what I know. I'm not always right, but I'm never in doubt. Oh, Nate sent a private message. Laugh out loud. Thanks, Nate. God, we're going to call this the Nate and Hisham show pretty soon. What do you think of that, guys? So, yeah. Yeah, so I'm just passing on everything that we've been doing here. We've done, I think it's 8,000 cars and trucks in the dyno since 03. And we've always got 10 to 15 cars we're working on, and we're spooling as fast as we can. But it's all because of guys like you that, you know, makes hot rodding everything. It's not the fact I can do it. It's the fact that you guys want to try to do it. That's the most important thing to get out of all this stuff. Get good information, have fun with it. If it pisses you off, start it on fire and call your insurance people. No, don't do that. But that's what this is all about. I just soon send people on a right path so they don't get into all kinds of trouble. I see too many cars that show up. People got goofy advice from some guy that's on, you know, on the web talking about he knows everything about stuff, and they got a 100-millimeter turbo on a Honda motor, and the fuel system is stock, and the thing doesn't work, and it breaks, and they want me to fix it. And I can't do that. I'm not a miracle guy. If I was, I'd be doing this shit over the phone or over the internet. I'm going to lay my hands on your car and fix it. It ain't like that. I wish it was. I'd be freaking wealthy. Do this stuff from my boat in the summertime. Of course, it's freezing now, so it's not going to work. What else we got? Do you work on JDM? I can, Alex. I've got John, who is incredibly gifted and talented at that stuff. We've been working on all American stuff because we're so busy fixing other shops' mistakes. We Todd did. Really TV. we Todd did. Okay. 60/60 swap for a Charger. You talking an old Charger, Julian? Otherwise, I would stick with what you got. It's a lot of money, and we can make the thing work and make it faster without having to go to a TR 60/60. Time consuming and a pain in the ass. You should get girls in the bikinis during the summer. Yeah, here's the problem with that, Aaron. I totally understand. Every time an old guy like me asks a young girl to stand in a bikini for me, basically they look at me like I'm a pervert and they call the police. So there you go. If you have any volunteers, I'll turn them over to Hisham because he's a lot younger than I am. And yeah, my wife just looks at me and goes, "Yeah, young girls for you. That's like a dog chasing a car. If it ever stopped, you wouldn't know what to do." And she's absolutely right. I just don't. I got it. So there you go. What do you think about the new Holley composite intake manifolds for the new Hemis? I've got one coming from the boys at Edelbrock. They're sending me a prototype that they've got. I'm going to try that out. Say it's supposed to really work. And your Holley composite, I don't think I've worked on one of those yet. The intake manifolds, I'm not sure they're holding us back a whole lot because if we can make 500 horse with a 5.7, that's almost a horse, 1.4 something horsepower per cube. We're kind of out of bullets. And dropping, what are they, $1,000 or something like that? Holley's always been, they like themselves, so don't kid yourself. But I'm happy to test one if somebody wants to shoot it over here. If Holley is listening, I buy a lot of your stuff all the time direct. Send me one and I'll run it side by side. But here's the caveat on that there, Holley guys. If it doesn't work, if it works, I'll be your biggest advocate in the planet. I will sing the praises. I will put the numbers up from the dyno runs and everything else. And here's the thing. If it doesn't work, I will call you out as being full of shit, which is not very popular. Okay, shouldn't say that word, but that's what I will do. People don't like that about me. They give me free stuff. They expect me to make sure it looks like it's going to work like $1 million type stuff. If it doesn't work like $1 million, I tell people because I want to save everybody money for buying stuff that doesn't work. Remember the famous phrase, you will pick up to 1,000 extra horsepower when you put these set of spark plugs in. It's always up to. Okay, just be aware of that. Get Chopper to ask them. Yeah, I'll get Chopper to ask him. Yeah, he's really good with people. I mean, most people that meet Chopper, they're all like, "Oh, can we just kill him now and get it over with?" So yeah, he's really good with people. It's like having a chainsaw around. Yeah, girls. I'm still going back to girls in bikinis. Help me out, Aaron. Unless you're 60 years old, in which case I know the same girls in bikinis. They're all like 60. John Stafford, how you doing? Yeah, it looks like we're caught up. People giving up on me.
How many we have?
Best exhaust currently, have a Flowmaster. I do not, and Julian, I don't do Flowmasters. I got one on the dyno, a 6.0 Chevy truck that we're going to take that off. We tuned it before, and the guy changed the exhaust and lost 20 horse. It's got one of the 40 series, and we're taking that off and putting a MagnaFlow on, mostly because the other one I wanted to use was on back order. So I use a lot of MagnaFlow stuff. Stainless steel, never rusts, warranty, sound is right. Mostly it doesn't give us any problems with any kind of gurgling or drone through the car. So not a big Flowmaster guy. They'll probably call me up and bitch me out. I've added an after chiller kits. The AC kits cool. The Hellcat supercharger. I've not done it on Hellcat superchargers. We did it on that SRT8 Jeep we've got, and it seemed to work pretty good after we got a bunch of bugs worked out of it. I would tell you flat out that I would rather actually hit the thing with a 75 dry shot to cool it down if I really thought I needed the extra power. And when it gets hot, I get it. We'll be down 60, 70 horse because of timing with Hellcat. But if I go to the track, what I do is I bring along a couple fans and about 3 bags of ice. I toss it on the top of the supercharger and just use my little spray bottle and spray it down to dissipate the heat. I'm good to go. I can make enough horsepower that I can spin the tires just about at any point. Do I want to spend another couple $1,000s or whatever for the AC kit for that thing? First one didn't go well. That was like a couple years ago when they were first going through them, and it had a lot of stuff that wasn't right. Hooker headers work great. They've got different levels of hooker headers. The Super Comps are my favorite. They work just fine. Just make sure the Julie, make sure the head pipe is not too big. You'll lose some of your torque. It all has to do with the amount of horsepower and air that your motor moves for header pipe, and then the collector size. Would you keep an LT1 or LS swap a 94? Jesus, get rid of the LT1. Throw that thing away. Just pick it up and throw that prick as far as you can do it. LS1 swap would be awesome in that Impala SS. Love those cars. An LT1 they put in there, I just kind of want to look around like, what the hell? Always has the OptiSpark, tougher to work on. There's shit all over the place. Just put an LS1 in the thing. You'd be my hero. Just do it up. Can a 6.4 manifold fit on my 13 Charger all-wheel drive? Yes, the cylinder heads, I believe it fits right on there, and you're not going to gain that much. A little bit, not enough to worry about. So what would I need? You don't need anything except for somebody else's 6.4 intake manifold and a set of new gaskets. Wouldn't do it. Is it worth 15 horse? Yeah. Do I want you to do it? No. Might be causing the, oh, that's not my deal. Any ideas from your experience, what might be causing the 5.0 Coyote typewriter knock? What have so-called had? You know what? I don't know about that. I can get a hold of Casey Whitmer. He's the top SVT guy, and I can ask him about that. We can talk about that next Saturday. He'll know all about that. I should come to Germany. Got Race Wars in May, and we can hit the. Yeah, let me tell you what would happen if I went to Germany. First of all, I'd probably get thrown in jail because I do stupid stuff, and I like beer, so that's a problem. And I like racing. Nuremberg would be awesome. I haven't been there. Sounds great. I'm going to check it with my wife and Hisham. Maybe we'll do it live from Germany.
Yeah.
Holy Christ.
That'll be awesome.
There could be, I'll bring Corey. He'd be the attraction of the world at 6'11 and a half. Good God. No problem. I'm going to call you Xavier, but I don't think that's right. Xavier. Anyway, happy to help. When will you guys hit the track with Hellcat? Well, I need a month to prep the car. I got parts coming in all the time. I got no car. To gut the thing out in between all my other projects I got going for people that are paying bills rather than doing something for free for Corey, I got to keep working with the green side to do the freebie side. And so far, I still have no car. So that's bad. Everybody wants me to do the video on the car. I'd love to do a video on the car. So as soon as that happens, I need a month to prep. I believe the Dallas tracks open up again in January. So we're kind of figuring that's going to be the way to go, and we're going to hit both an 1/8 mile and a 1/4 mile, and we'll see how it goes. I won't be bringing a whole lot of spares along, so if Corey goes through the tires, we're just kind of hosed. Yeah, sorry about that, X. I'm doing the best I can. Marvelicious. Hi. Are you the okay? Hi, everybody. Feeding time. Hi. Thank you. And let's see. Hi, everybody. Hello. Marvelicious, you're new? Okay, cool. Mr. Kev, my 23 Ram, 2003 Ram 1500, transmission problems? Yup. Is it possible a conversion from 4x4 rear-wheel drive cause problems? So you had somebody change it for you or just turned off the 4x4? Because that should not do anything. The 03 Rams had a problem with the 5.7 with dropping. They have problems with the timing chain set getting loose. You probably want to repair that if it's at 150,000. And they had problems. They didn't have proper, the valve seats would fall out when they were shock cooled. Does Greg from Upper Ponderosa export to Europe? Yes, all the time. He exports all over the world because there's some really rich people down in Saudi Arabia, and he just got in a car from England. His Hemi block for his Challenger convertible car is supposed to be in Sweden. You can't find it. But yes, he'll go to Europe and export whatever you want. You just got to set it up, get him paid. He'll send it to the dock for you, and it goes in a container, and away you go. Yeah, Marvelicious, thanks for checking in. I chat all the time. Car person, good. Can you turbo Prius? You know, Ethan, I thought about doing that, and I was working on the numbers. It only makes like 110 horse to start with, and even if I ran a full atmosphere of boost, we're looking at 220. I thought about playing with that, and all my guys looked at me like I'm an idiot. So I think we're probably just going to go direct to the 6-liter, but I can be talked into it. God knows what I'm going to do next. I mean, I can make a station wagon out of it. I don't know. Do I rebuild automatics in looking to get a transmission teardown, bench at home, probably Snap-on. Yeah, Snap-on stuff is really good. It's also the most expensive part. You could buy a house, a Hellcat, and a new GT350 for the same price as one of their damn toolboxes. So the reason that they're, Snap-on guys are great and they warranty their stuff out. The problem is you just paid 20 times. And I tell my young technicians, I'm like, stop buying Snap-on because you're going to have $20,000 in debt and they work you to death. So I don't want you to get in debt that far. And then everybody gets pissed, mostly you and your wife and your kids because you can't feed them because you got Snap-on. Great tools, though. Anthony, how you doing? Appreciate it. Yeah, I rebuild automatics. I can set you up with Adam, my transmission teardown guy, and my transmission guy. He's awesome. And you can talk with him about what he's got for everything. I know he's got one of those flip over deals, and he's got kind of a jet wash like I have, and he's got all these special tools that I'd probably cut myself on. Kenny, how you doing? I'm just having too much fun for words. And Ethan says, just playing. Okay. I might do it anyhow, just because. Craziest car you built and the fastest car. Well, all right, so craziest, we'll probably put that in with dumbest. God, I've done a lot of those things. Normally what happens if I think somebody's doing something that's completely asinine and I think it's going to break or they're going to die, I won't do it. Just because of the fact that somebody's going to blame me at the end and they're not going to have any fun. Fastest car, the yellow Corvette that we had for racing up at Brainerd would run 220, and it would do that on the street and the track. That was on E85 with one of our built 408 motors, turning 70-300 with a sheet metal. Worked pretty good. I got to tell you, anything past about 150 nowadays, you're moving pretty fast. You can do the math on how many feet per second. And I was expecting up here in Minneapolis, we have a lot of deer and a lot of like animals that cross the road for some reason. And I'll tell you what, you hit something at 150, first of all, the animal is going to be punted into orbit. And secondly, you're going to be able to smash shit everywhere. Switzerland, there is a market for classic muscle cars. Yes, I've sent, Hefty Price started a business there. I've sent a couple Chargers to Sweden and one to Norway, and they always like the stuff that was, I did a DeSoto out there too. They always like the stuff that's pretty inexpensive because the incoming tax is really high. Yeah, I feel bad about that starting a business. I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of Switzerland's a great place, but God, everything's expensive and it's kind of socialist, unless you got your own bank, which is pretty cool. Gear wrench, good value. I believe you. Personal cars, I've got the twin turbo S600. I've got an SL 500. I let my wife drive those. I've got the 65 Thunderbird hardtop car that's all new, and I drive my Lexus all the time. I'm trying to think. I got a pickup truck and some other stuff, and a diesel, and just kind of stuff. I used to have a whole string of cars, but I get so busy 6 days of work. 6 days a week when you work on cars, you want to know what you want to do on day 7? Anything but cars. Anything but cars. You want to go to the winery? I'm your guy. You want to go have a pizza? I'm your guy. You want to go bowling? Except for my arm being stretched out, I'm your guy. You want to go to a car show? Nope. Got a car show here every damn day. Enough's enough. Keep wrecking Stanley ratchets. Wow, they always start to slip. I don't know. I mean, you could get a few Snap-on things, but that stuff is actually made by somebody else. I'm forgetting the name now, but I'll figure it out for you. 6.4 Hemi as reliable as a 570 from your experience. It is if you leave it completely stock. But if I had an RT, which is going to be 10,000 less than a Scat Pack, and I had the money for a Scat Pack, I put up the extra money and buy a Hellcat. I wouldn't stop in the middle of that Scat Pack because you're going to be a guy with an RT and one of my camshafts is going to eat the Scat Pack for lunch and you're going to feel bad. And the guy with a Hellcat is going to beat you like a rug. So it's kind of, to me, the Scat Pack is kind of in the middle. I don't know. I'd go broke if you were in Memphis. Yeah, you know what? I'm broke too, and I'm in Minneapolis, and I got a big shop. What did you do before your shop? Oh, I was a VP of a lumber brokerage firm, and I had my law degree for 21 years. And I used to sell sticks all over the country. It was And I did a bunch of work on the Chicago Merc, doing futures trading and stuff. So yeah, I sat behind a desk and had 23 guys that reported to me and 13 support staff. I treated them just like I treat you guys. Whether that's good or bad, I can't tell you. Nobody quit. I had to fire a couple dumbasses, but that's different. All right, you work on any super ads and hypercars yet? No, we're pretty much working on all the American stuff and making them fast enough, because most of my guys are, hardworking 21 to 60-year-old guys that want to have a little fun. They've got a car they parked a long time ago, or they want something to go out and run, and they don't want to break it. I've got a lot of guys that were about where I live, where they have all the supercars and stuff, and they polish the cars, and they've got special sunglasses, and they got the tight, skinny jeans on and stuff like that. It's embarrassing. I mean, they walk around like, anyway, we'll let it go. It's what they do. Can't help you with that. Let's see. Don't break torque with your ratchets. Yeah, okay. Want to go to a strip club. My wife kind of talked me. A long time ago, she used to laugh at me because I used to go to strip clubs all the time. And she's like, those women really don't like you. And it turns out she was right. So anyway, yeah, no more strip clubs for me. I'd rather go out for dinner. And if I'm going to blow $500, it'll be on a big ass steak and about 3 bottles of wine, and happy to have people join me. At least at the end of the night, I know my wife's just only be slightly mad about the $500. But if I come home with glitter on my face and smelling like cheap perfume, yeah, she's just going to laugh at me again because she knows nothing went on. Let's see. How do you feel about Fox body Mustangs and the 50, 302 push-rod motor? Love Foxes. Most of them are all cut up and gone. They're flexy as hell, so they need all kinds of strengthening. The 50, 302 motor is a good motor. It's just a small motor. It's a short deck height. They work really good in a lot of applications. They've worked for many, many years. So, Nick, I love that 302 motor. The thing is, it's just 302 cubes. And for those of us that are trying to get something that's really with the program, you make a 347. The aftermarkets will go to like 367. But I kind of jump right to the 460 motor, and I know it's heavier, but I'll take the 555 cubes. Parts are inexpensive, except for the cylinder heads. And, John Kazi does a great job with his heads. They're freaking badass. The Super Cobra Jet heads, after we port them up for 8 hours, they work really good too. Do I like Mr. Organic or Corey more? You know what? They're both great guys in their own way. I can't choose between the two of them. But if you want to know who I don't like, it's Bill, my technician. So there. Mid-engine vet. Yep. I want to drive one of those. I'm sure it's a lot of fun. I'm getting a little old and fat to get in and out of the Corvette. That's the big problem. Oh, Rebecca says I'm drunk. Not yet, but thanks for asking. Supercars don't do it for me. Could be the Fox next to a Ferrari. I'd rather have the Bill car. Yeah, you know what? I used to race against Ferraris in my Corvettes, and they had lots of money in their cars. This is back in the 90s and early 2000s. And man, they'd have a buttload of money in their car, and they had matching little red outfits and stuff, and the special Ferrari hats and stuff. And I just get out there on the track up at Brainerd at BIR, and I let them get out in front, and I just toast them on the front straightaway, just kind of suck the headlights out of their car and run past them at about 180, 190. And then I'd let them catch up in the corners, and I'd let them pass me on the beginning of the straight, and I just beat the crap out of them again. So that guy had like 300,000. That great guy, though. Turns out I talked to him later on, and I felt kind of bad for treating him like a piece of crap. But yeah, he's one of the Daytons from the Dayton Hudson Target Group. So yeah, he had a few extra bucks, and yeah, I've done some work for his kids. So he's not a bad guy. Got a lot of money. Aaron says I'm funny. Take care. I'll do my best. We can see you next live. Yep. Do I recommend the 301? Is that the Pontiac motor, or is it Bin 301 from Penfolds Wine? Because I think I've had that before. Dyno Place in Chicago. Yeah, I think Speed Inc. is still around in Chicago. There's Skylark Berto. I don't know. I don't keep track. I'm not sure who's left down there. It's kind of expensive if you have a bunch of problems. And I think Speed Inc. is still around.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Hisham says Speed Inc. is still around. So check those guys out. I have no idea what they're doing. What do you think about Toyota Prius? Are they easy to work on, and do they last long? They're not easy to work on, but they last a long time. The battery packs go out at about 250,000. You got to have them rebuilt or have cells rebuilt, which is now the rage. You need to change the oil every 5,000 miles, like everything else, even though the motor doesn't run very hard. And they'll go 250,000 with almost, very little maintenance. So that works really good. CVT transmission seems to be working pretty good as long as it's under limited horsepower and stuff. So it's good. How many years have you been racing? What was your first real car? So my first real car I got when I was 15 was a 67 Impala Super Sport with a 283 and a Glide in it. And I was out drag racing that after we rebuilt the motor from scratch and changed to a turbo 400, put some gears and a converter in it, and I got beat a lot. Turns out a 283 even back in the day, and that big-ass 67 Impala Super Sport was pretty heavy. But kept getting more money and buying more stuff. I had a 68 Corvette convertible back when I was in high school because I worked all the time. And women loved that thing. And then one of them burned their leg in the side pipe, so that was pretty cool. Sorry about that. If you're still out there, Debbie, sorry. Let's see. Rebecca says pony. 301 pony? What's a 301 pony?
Pontiac.
Pontiac? 301 motor is kind of anemic. If that's you're talking about the Pontiac motor, they're kind of slow. I just usually tear them out and put a 455 in. Hey, from the UK. Hi guys, Nessie and Brian. Old school chat. Yeah, it's pretty. Just had to bring up the old part, didn't you? God, they're even making fun of me from across the ocean, across the pond.
You're famous now.
Yeah. What's my favorite car? I'm pretty attached to some of the old stuff. I'm really attached to Greg's got a DeSoto, a 57 DeSoto convertible black and gold. If Greg ever lets me buy that thing, I'm going to have to gather up all my nickels, dimes, and quarters because that thing is pretty freaking special. All right, I'm going to save, buying a wife a Toyota Prius to save money. I would tell you flat out, buy one that's like 6-7 years old, save all the money on the depreciation, and just make sure it's got full records from Toyota, and you'll be fine. Get it with like 100 rounds on it. Fox Body, you want to spray it? What do you recommend doing to 470, 347 to hold big shots of nitrous? All Ford stuff. I wouldn't whack it with much more than a 250 shot, even with Ford stuff, and it loves compression, so H-beam rods, ARP, 2000 upgrades in the rods, big set of pistons, flat tops are great for flame travel. Keep it up around 10.5, 11-to-1 compression, run good gas in it. Race gas is preferred, obviously, but if you got to run pump, then take the compression down to like 9 3/4 or 10 flat. That's a typical build. It's all forged everything. ARP mains, ARP heads. The blocks start to flex at about 500 horse, so you got to be a little careful with that. 347s will make a good set of cylinder heads will make damn near 500 the way it is. I rate mine at 450 and they make more. So the blocks get a little squishy. You may want to talk about doing an aftermarket block would probably help out with that 347 situation if you really want to whack on it. Dual clutch transmission, a good transmission from Ford? Yes. Transmission is not the issue. The dual clutch has been awesome. They've had them for years. The first ones had a little slippage issues, and there's a retrofit on that, but it's a good setup. Am I almost done working on Corey's Hellcat? No, Andy. And everybody send Corey a list and to say, send the Hellcat to Bart so we can get to work on this shit. I got parts coming in from all over the country to go racing, but I got no car. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Pontiac motor, Rebecca. No, just say no. Just don't do that. They're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and they were a Smogger motor, and they got small valves and small cubic inch, and size does matter. Okay, everybody says hi. Cam and bolt-ons, LS1, LS2, LS3. All right, LS1, LS2 are remarkably the same with the cathedral port heads. I do almost the same thing with that. We put long tubes on them, cold air intake. The LS1, if it doesn't have the LS6 intake manifold, the LS2 is pretty good. I like the LS6 even better. And then the camshaft ends up being about the same. That 226, 232 for street cars on a 112 gives you all the lump in the world. LS3 is different because the intakes flow so much better. I knock down the intake side, crank up the exhaust, but they also get long tubes and cold air. So the LS3 has got a better cylinder head by a ton. Horsepower differences, we can make 500 with the 346 LS1 with an LS6 intake manifold, 475 to 500 in bolt-ons. LS2 will be a little bit bigger because they came as a 6-liter. And the LS3 I could make 550-ish, 575. They also came as a 6.0, 6.2, and the cylinder heads are better. Thought of the new EcoBoost Ford engine. All right, the new EcoBoost, they've been working on it, getting it right with the world. The EcoBoost motor is a great idea. They had a 5-liter EcoBoost. They didn't turn loose on the world because their transmissions wouldn't hang on, but their computers were set up for it, and they were ready to launch it and then pulled it back. The baby EcoBoost motors are running really good. The early ones, the 2735s, had problems with timing chains, and they've had a few problems with not cylinder heads, but the cam actuation and stuff like that. That's been a problem. So they've got that worked out with the latest rendition, which I believe was 2015 or 16. Casey was just talking to me about that before because I was whining about it. 390 gears, okay for the Skylark. Gonna have to have 28-inch tall tires. Unless you've got, if you're gonna do the 700R4, yes, 390s or 410s. If you're working with a 10 bolt or a 12 bolt, go right to the 410s. And the 700R4 gives you a 0.67 overdrive there on that Skylark, Berto. Just do that because that'll give you proper cruising with a anywhere from 26 to 28-inch tall tire. I don't think the Skylark will handle more than a 28-inch tall tire in the wheel on the back. It gets to be a little crowded. When do you stream? Probably going to do this, Rebecca, again next Saturday, I guess, when Hisham shows up and when Nate shows up, you lazy bastard working on your house. Koenig ADR or Lamborghini Venturi SVJ. Julian, you know what? I don't know that much about either one of those cars. I know they're going to be fragile. I know they're really cool and they cost a buttload of money. But I don't know enough about those cars to give you a hardcore recommendation on that. I've upgraded my wheels to 20x9 from your recommendations. We were emailing, wonder if 20x11. Same Charger 13. You don't have to go that wide. You can put a nice wide tire on a 9-inch. You can put up to, the 315 is going to be pretty squishy, but it should be really close. For sure, you can do like a 295. I would not go that wide because it's going to rub and you're going to have problems and you don't need that wide a rim. Plus, it's just more money. 20x10, 20x9.5 would be my first choice. That's what I'm putting on the Hellkeezy is getting a set of 20x9.5. No. 17x9.5, but that's for drag racing only. X has been getting some suggestions. Rebecca says, okay, bye. Okay, thanks. Nicholas Dalton says, exclamation point. Ooh, okay. All right. We about had it for the day. What time is it? Gotta go home to my dogs.
4:25.
Oh, cool. All right, got about 15 minutes left. So I got to go home and take the dogs out and make sure they're fed for the night. Plus, I want to watch some, see what's going on. Get some rest. No shit. You'll find as you get older, sleeping goes kind of downhill. So I end up going to bed about 8, 9 o'clock, and I get up at 3 and kind of just walk around the house with the dogs until things get, until the rest of the world's kind of up. 20x11, 315 tires and 5mm spacers. Okay, wide rim 315s should give you about a 1/2 inch on each side, and what is that? Probably a 35 series. So, yeah, it'll work. They're just heavy. I mean, it's just a lot of weight. Do you work on electrical? Yep, all day long. We do electrical stuff for people, new harnesses, fixing stuff that's screwed up. Oh, live PD's on tonight. Okay, cool. I can watch that. Top of the MOOC. All right, I think that's good. Got a smiley face. Thanks, Nickman. But, yeah, live PD, I could probably watch some of that. I wonder what else is on tonight. I wonder what hockey's going on. Oh, I know. Anybody watch the Gophers play today? Do they get killed? They're playing against Wisconsin. That could be totally bad. They may not come back alive. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to sign off till next Saturday. Everybody come up with more questions. I'm willing to go over whatever you want to talk about. I appreciate all the comments and everything you guys are doing. Thank you very much. I was going to turn it down. Oh, it's back up. Turn it down. Back up.